Hey guys, it's Friday. So, a few disclaimers. This is going to be unedited. It's just going to be like a 4-minute, 5-minute, however long minute video of me talking to you. I'm soaking wet because I just came from outside. I was at a party, a birthday party, and it's raining outside, and I don't have time to change because I have to get to Doctor Who Club in like 10 or 15 minutes. So, we're just gonna talk. We're gonna talk about this. And, oh, my last disclaimer is that I'm not good at things. When we came up with this challenge, we did not take into consideration that I don't have talents. Like, you guys all are so good at things, and I'm just not. I have spent all week trying to figure out what I'm gonna teach you guys. I eventually decided that I just have to teach you guys about what I've been learning in school, and I don't know if you guys know that apparently my program in school is just like how to be a pretentious buttmunch, because that's what I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you, I'm going to teach you how to be a good dinner party guest, because I actually had a professor who told me that the only thing he wanted me to come out with in the class is to make me a better guest at dinner parties, because I go to so many dinner parties. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about, I am a mess. The first thing that we're going to talk about is philosophy. I've decided that philosophy is the one thing where, like, if you know one or two things about it, you sound, like, super, well, butt-munchy, but you also sound super, like, well-read. So I have my stack of philosophy here. This is, in this stack here, we have Plato, Sophocles, Boethius, Suetonius, Shi Jing, and Socrates. Okay? But I've also read a lot of, like, Zhu Ji and Confucius and the Buddha and Averroes and Master Eckhart and Rumi and Thomas Aquinas. So much philosophy, guys. Every culture in all of history has its own philosophy, and I know about all of it, unfortunately. But that's not important. You don't have to know about philosophy to talk about philosophy. We're just going to take the first book off my stack, which is Plato, and I'm going to teach you guys how to make it sound like you know what you're talking about. You just turn to a random page, okay, and then you put your finger down on a quote, and that's going to be the quote that you use at your dinner party for the evening. Okay, that one doesn't work because it's in the middle of, like, the end notes, like, where the sources came from. Okay, this one works. Both together they will not be the best defenders of the whole soul, and the whole body against attacks from without, the one counseling, and the other fighting off his leader, and courageously executing his demands of the councils. So you just, like, have to pull out, like, half of that and use it in conversation, like, so it's basically talking about, like, people fighting internally with themselves, and so you just have to, like, turn that around, like, when people are, like, they don't know what to do with their futures, they don't know what they're doing because they got 4 different invitations for what to do the next night, you know, you just sound really academic and throw out a Plato quote. But, so that's my first tip. My second tip is to use lexical gaps. I have discovered in my lifetime, and especially in college, that people find words fascinating when there's no direct English translation to them. So, for example, the word Schadenfreude is a word that Summer and I have been using since like 7th or 8th grade because we read it in a book and we thought it was so cool that there was no direct definition for it in English. It means, like, to enjoy or revel in the pain of others, but there's no one word that means that in English. And another one that I came across recently is a word from troubadourian poetry. It's written in Occitan, which is like a language that's kind of like French, kind of like German, kind of like Middle English. It originally stems from Middle English, but this is not an etymology class, although it is a learn things class, so you have a little bit of that there. But the word is lozengiers. I'll put a little thingy, but It means a spy or deadly enemy against love. And so it's a word that basically means, like, so troubadourian poetry is all about knights sleeping with married ladies of households. And it's basically about the man of the house who's married to the person who's having an affair with the knight, and it's basically talking about how it's their fault that these knights can't get laid, even though it's the knight's fault for not finding women who are available. But anyway, that's also not the point of this. Okay, and the last thing is to learn how to talk about things that you don't know anything about. And I actually took a class in that in college. We had to read a book called how to read a book, or how to talk about a book you've never read. And there's just so many things. Like, okay, so basically steer questions away from yourself. So like when someone is like, what did you think about the movie? I don't know, pick a movie, any movie. Why am I asking you? You're not actually here. What did you feel about the latest episode of Doctor Who? And you just say, well, like, I really liked it. I didn't think it was as good as the last one because, I mean, the acting was just, you know, it was alright, it was whatever. And then someone else will be like, I don't really know that I agree with you. I thought Amy Pond did a fantastic job with her crying scene. And you're just like, yeah, I don't know, you know, I'm not really a huge Amy Pond fan. And, like, you just pick up on cues from other people. I mean, that was a really easy one because obviously I know about Doctor Who, but like things like that, and we actually have to do things like that. Like I had to write a paper on the art of war, and I've never read the art of war, so that was that was interesting. But like, so yeah, basically you should steer questions away from yourself. You should pick up on cues from other people, and yeah. So, in summation, how you should get through life at fancy dinner parties. You should memorize random quotes from philosophy that you look up from your big pile of philosophy. You should memorize lexical gaps, words that don't exist in English. And you should talk about things that you have no interest in because other people are interested in them, and other people like when you're interested in things that they're interested in. That was really a lame attempt to teach you guys things. I just kind of rambled. I'm really tired. I went to a party last night. It was like, I don't know, I sound like I party all the time, I really don't. It was at the Met. It was the opening of a new gallery, and it was super cool, and there are pictures on Facebook that you guys can see. But I'm gonna go now because I have to get to my club. I hope that you don't all hate me for this awful video, and I expect you to use these tips at our next dinner party. Alex, I'll see you tomorrow.